Oh my god, this home opener had everything. The dramatics, the ceremony, the old men crying, the rookie scoring, the Leafs winning, and... Dude? Here, one sec. Sorry, I was in the bathroom. Hi, everyone. Hello! The Leafs won a thing! Austin Matthews! Photo! Wizardry! And... Well, time for a rebuild. This team is ruining my life! The first of many. The first of many. The first of many! Leafs win! 4-1 over the Boston Bruins! But first, huge pregame ceremony for the Leafs centennial season, and in a shocker, the Leafs retire a bunch of numbers. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar, the Leafs have honored a bunch of numbers. They have a ton of numbers hanging from the rafters. But prior to last night, the Leafs only had 2 numbers retired. 5 and 6. Barilko and Bailey, they both have B names if it helps you remember. But now, everyone who had their number honored now had their number retired. And no Leaf could ever wear those numbers again. And Dave Keon had his number retired. Look, I was not old enough to ever watch Dave Keon play, but enough people say he's the greatest Leaf of all time that I believe him. After all, when the Leafs released their rankings of the top 100 Leafs ever, they ranked Keon number 1. And we've talked a lot about Leafs management and how they've helped rebuild this team from the ground up, but that doesn't just mean draft picks and prospects. It also doesn't just mean attitude and a culture of winning. The Leafs, for decades, have had a core piece of their history missing, and that's the alienation of Dave Keon. And one thing Brendan Shanahan and company have done so well is, it seems like, begging and pleading and just welcoming with open arms Dave Keon back into the Leafs family. And a lot of people said, it's stupid retiring this many numbers. They retired a lot of numbers. I remember dumping on the Habs for that a few times. I mean, it's getting to the point where you can't wear a number if you're on the Canadiens. What number do you wear? It's actually just the triangle. And you know, Daryl Sittler I never saw play, and Boris Salming I never saw play, and George Armstrong, apparently I have no problem taking his number because I actually took it because of Alex Steen. But I think about 13 and I go, I don't want a Leaf to ever wear 13 again. You know how many players have worn the number 14 since Dave Keon left? 13! One of which was Ron Wilson. And you saw the guys. They were crying. It means so much more to have your number retired than honored. When you honor a number, all you're really doing is just telling the player you were very, very good. And most times the player's standing there like, yep, yeah, I know I was very good. I'm Daryl Sittler. Yeah, not news. This means so much more, and it almost kind of means closure. And we can now move on to the future, which, by the way, looks very bright! First period, Matt Holmberg shot from the point, rebound, puck loose in front, and Breeze 2 Grease bangs it in with ease, 1-0 Leafs! And oh, Connor Brown, no one wanted that goal more than Connor Brown. This guy is battling tooth and nail, clawing to stay in this lineup on a minute-to-minute, second-to-second basis. When the Leafs claimed Seth Griffith, I was like, well, that's it for Connor Brown. You can send him down. Levo has to clear waivers. That's kind of it. But if he can contribute, hopefully stay out of the box, and he's killing penalties, guys. If he can continue to do this, Connor Brown is going to stick around. Oh, and little chestnut Nazem Kadri fighting David Backes right after the 1-0 goal? What? For those of you who watched Nazem Kadri and David Backes shake off their gloves and stand face to face and said to yourselves, wow, Backes looks a lot bigger, yeah, your eyes did not deceive you. NHL.com lists Kadri at 6'0", 195. David Backes listed at 6'3", 221. If we're going by UFC rules, we got a light heavyweight taking on a heavyweight. That's not a good matchup. And he might not be as big, but Bob Ross will paint you black and blue, and he holds his own. Nice fight. A few minutes later, a pass that, no, Mitch Marner can't get that. What? Corrals the puck through his legs and click. Mitch Marner with his first career NHL goal! October 15th, 2016, you mark it down in your calendar, the night the Air Canada Centre became Marn's barn. How can Marner be sent down when he's lifting the Leafs up like this? And that was it for the Leafs in this period. Wrong! The Leafs' first 6 goals of the season were scored by rookies, a new NHL record, but it's time for the vets to step it up. JVR's got nothing wrong. Slick deke, backhand, Sunday nest, that's a goal. Leafs up 3-0. JVR, you not entertained. Leafs get into penalty trouble very late in the period. David Pastrnak finishes off a pretty good play, scores to make it 3-1, but we don't care. Leafs are up by 2. Okay, first is over. How was that? Is everyone having fun yet? There's only one more goal to talk about it, so let's fast forward to the third period and get that out of the way. Morgan Riley puts it on, looks like a weak shot. No. Sneaky little pass for sneaky good Milan Mahalik. Tips it in his first of the season. Leafs up 4-1. The Leafs are up 4-1, and an eerie feeling fills the Air Canada Centre. A lot of nervous laughter at the Review Cinema for Hockey Night in Cinema. A lot of collar pulling around the Greater Toronto Area. Is it hot in here? It's supposed to be October. Look, this is the home opener of the Leafs centennial season. It's a time for celebration. It's a time to honor the heroes of the past, the players who made you fall in love with this team. And those players are what makes the Toronto Maple Leafs history so incredible, so rich. But what about the fans? What have we done? We never got on the ice, we never made an outlet pass, we never scored a goal, we never made a flashy save. What have we done? What makes us so special? I mean, we cheered, but anyone can cheer on a good team. What makes Toronto Maple Leafs fans so special are the demons of the past. So this game, this home opener, this centennial celebration gave an opportunity for the Leafs to, one, honor and do right by the past, and two, confront it. We needed the Leafs to be up 4-1 on the Bruins in this one. And we all needed them to beat the Bruins 4-1. Look, Steve, calm down. Regular season game, second game of the season. Bruins were missing a bunch of players. I don't care! Because I just want to know what it feels like to feel safe with a 4-1 lead again. So Mitch Marner was obviously the star of the game. Matthews obviously good again. Zach Hyman relentless on the puck. Love that pesky little bugger. Connor Carrick was very good. Nikita Zaitsev continues to be one of the most underrated players on the team. But let's talk about the most underrated storyline of this game. The coming out party of Freddie Andersen. Faces 25 shots. Not a crazy workload, but he only allowed one of them. And the Leafs win it, and Freddie Andersen wins it. He had to make a couple incredible stops, and that was very impressive, but what impressed me about him was his poise, his ability to just make shots seem simple. And with what looks like a young, speedy, dangerous, high-octane Toronto offense, you want to know that you got a goalie back there who can stop a puck or two, and Freddie did that in this one. The biggest thing everyone was talking about after this game was Marner's goal. The celebration! The Punjabi call, which I will put right down below. You gotta click on that, you gotta listen to it. Not quite Benito, but Leafs fans, this one's ours! And of course, his mom didn't see it because she was in the bathroom. Here's how we know Mitch Marner is gonna be great. His mom missed his first career NHL goal because she was in the bathroom, and she thought it was hilarious! Yucking it up, laughing it up on national television, and you know why? Because she knows Mitch is going to get another one. And then another one. Another one. Another one. This isn't some journeyman call-up we're talking about. This is Mitch Marner, a budding star. Oh, he scored a goal? You know how many goals he scored? Not that you are, but I wouldn't worry about it, Mrs. Marner. I think you're going to see your son score plenty of goals over the next little bit. That being said, if my kid ever makes the show and I go to his game, I'm wearing a diaper. Now let's talk about these videos and wrap it up. The first LFR of the season, the last video that I did in this channel, up to almost 50,000 views. It is the best, the number one video to start a season I've ever done because of you guys. And what did I tell you? They better get their laughs out now because we're gonna have more games like this. Hudobin was in net and they didn't have Bergeron. Oh, I wasn't aware this game didn't count. How about the fact that the average age of the Leafs is 14? Do they get extra points for that? Look, any Bruins fans watching this, I get it. And Leafs fans, hey, you want to be able to beat teams at their best. But when a team is not at their best, the schedule does not slow down. Anyway, that was back to the game. Dangle Navy invasion of the Toronto Marlies. Thank you so much to everyone who came out to the Toronto Marlies home opener, which was just hours before the Leafs home opener at Ricoh Coliseum. Listeners of the Steve Dangle podcast entered a promo code on the Marlies website. They got discount tickets. We got to skate on the ice after the game. Well, I got to kind of glide and fumble around. And the Marlies won 5-2. We were rewarded with a beautiful game. By the way, Marley stacked again. And the amount of you that showed up, the turnout was just another example of just how incredible you guys are. The listeners of the podcast, if you watch these videos, if you watch the podcast, because we got a YouTube channel, don't you know? You're just the best people. The best people. And it doesn't end there. You know we can't stop. Hockey Night in Cinema at the Review Cinema, brought to you by Panago Pizza. You lovely folks who make pizza. We watched the Leafs home opener in a theater on a big screen, and most importantly, with free pizza. No, okay, sorry. Most importantly, together. Look, I'm happy I got to see the Leafs win, okay? I'm happy I got to see Mitch Marner score his first career NHL goal. I am happy I got to see the Leafs break a record, another record. They're second in 2 games with 6 rookie goals to open up the season. I'm happy for all those things. But the thing I am happiest for is I got to watch the game with you. And I'm so happy I got to meet you, hang out, shake hands, and thanks for the gifts. Some more interesting than others, I guess. Thank you to Morgan, who traveled quite the way, and she is one of my first ever subscribers and wrote this beautiful letter. Morgan, what are you trying to do? I'm trying to make a fun video here. Come on. Thank you to the folks who traveled from Ottawa. Thank you to the folks who traveled from, someone said Brampton. That's not that far, but okay. Thank you to the folks who traveled from Pennsylvania. Are you out of your mind there? You guys are special. You guys really are a special, special bunch. But before I get too sentimental, Austin Matthews is a Toronto Maple Leaf. Am I right? So that is it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really like to. Tell all your friends. If you decided you're feeling way too good about the Toronto Maple Leafs, way too good about yourself, I wrote an article on my top 100 Toronto Maple Leafs since Matt Sundin left the Maple Leafs. So it's quite the list. That's down below. And I will see you next time. 3 points in 4 games.